Secantor was actually recommended to us by our bank as worth looking at as an option. And so from that, I basically made contact with Gordon Wayne, who was the chief executive at the time, and had a chat to really understand what Secantor was all about, because it was quite a new concept to us. It wasn't something that we'd heard of as a concept before. The guy that had been the FD since the start of the company was, I suppose, in all fairness, a good accountant, but not someone who had perhaps a strategic thinking ability and some of the breadth and depth of experience that some of the guys that I've subsequently met that work with Secantor clearly have. When we sat down and actually spec'd out both the role and I guess the person, the guy that we were dealing with at Secantor, Gordon, was very, very keen to make sure we got the right sort of person. So before I think Gordon came to talk to myself in the first instance, he'd clearly done some homework around Empower as a company and around our values and our culture. And part of that discussion, a large part of that initial discussion with Gordon was, what sort of company are we? What sort of person would fit? As much as, in fact, probably more so than the actual, if I can call them the technical skills, the actual financial skills. It was much more about the right sort of person. Stuart came along for what was, I suppose, really it was an informal interview, and it is very much a two-way thing, because he could turn around to us as anybody can turn around when they go to interview the company. Don't like the look of you guys, just as we might not like the look of him. And I think we could see straight away that he was the sort of person that would fit well with the team. And when I say team, I guess three teams really: the big whole Empower team, the senior management team, and the finance team. So he had got the same value set, and certainly brought with him that with him, and brought a very strong work ethic as well in terms of standards and quality of work. What Secantor enabled us to do, I guess, was therefore get someone with those skill sets on board, who could really bring just a different level of thinking to the finance department and to the strategic thinking in the boardroom as well, and really challenge us on some of the things that we were doing and why we were doing them. And I guess Stuart really started to open our eyes to some of the underlying profitability issues in the business, and really started to get us to ask questions of ourselves. Well, why we're doing certain things, and would we be better doing more of other activities that were actually more profitable. When Stuart first joined us, it was very much as part-time FD. He did start to get involved in other things, from a strategy point of view, from a board perspective, because we could see that he had a lot to bring to the party. So we sort of asked him to get involved and invited him to be involved. He didn't impose himself in that respect. To get the quality of person that we currently have now with us in Stuart, we would struggle to afford that on a full-time basis. And I think it's a little bit about, we realised that we were better having somebody on a part-time basis that was a really high quality, rather than somebody that was low quality on a full-time basis. Because if you can get the quality, you can always buy the extra time if you need it. I guess we've been pleasantly surprised by just how much he's brought to the overall strategic perspective within the business. And I think that's because he has got a very inquiring and challenging nature. So he's challenged. He's got the confidence to challenge the board directors and the shareholders, etc. He's brought, and as part of that, I guess he's brought quite a lot of new thinking to be fair, the whole strategic direction of the company. He's really forced us to look at it, and for all the right reasons. I'd never heard of the concept before, so it was all a little bit new and a little bit strange when we first sort of started to look at it and think, oh, would this work? But I think now that we are, I guess, 15, 16 months into the arrangement, we have no desire to change it. We have no intention of wanting to change it. It works very, very well. And I would have really thought that a lot of SMEs could benefit from a similar arrangement, because so many small companies look at finance as that accounting function, and it can actually bring much, much more, and it can help to really help shape the business and drive the business forward, rather than just looking at maybe some short-term accounting issues, actually looking at long-term financing issues, etc., for growth, which is what our focus has been. So I would very much recommend Secantor. I think the other thing that we haven't touched on is Secantor can bring other things as well as accounting, as well as finance, and we have actually utilised a little bit of HR support. And I know that whilst we personally haven't tapped into other skill sets that Secantor have got, the quality of the people that I've seen and dealt with, say from a HR point of view, would lead me to believe that again SMEs could benefit from that slightly broader range of functional skills that you guys have.